Okay, now we're ready for Word 3, Project 1, Northern Oregon University Foundation. We're going to be making some changes to our documents. First thing you need to do is download the files you need. So you can click on Graduation, and then you can do a right click and save image as. I always save mine to my pictures so I can find them later. And then we have our starter file and instructions. I've already downloaded my instructions, so I'm just going to do the starter file. And it's going to bring it down here in the left-hand corner. It's going to bring it up in protected mode, so I need to enable editing. And then you want to save it with your last name instead of where it says starter file. Okay, now we need to make sure your name is in the bottom. So the file created specifically for, double click down here and then enter your name. And then come up here and close header and footer. And we're ready for the project steps. Step 1. First thing we want to do is rotate the picture, the logo, so we can orient the text horizontally. So we can select our picture, and we've got our little knob right there, so we can just move it and we can rotate it like that. You can also come up here under Picture Tools and use this rotate button right here. Both ways will work. Now we want to position this, so we're going to click on this position over here on the Format Picture Tool ribbon, and we want it left with square text wrapping. So that's how we get our text to go right over on the side like this. We want to put a bullet shape in here where it says insert bullet. So I'm going to get rid of all of this text here. Whoops, I went the wrong way. So I'm going to do my undo button. And I'm going to delete all of this. And now I want to put a round bullet in between those two spaces. Now if you don't see those two dot letter spaces, you just need to click on your show hide button and it's going to turn those on and off for you. So now I'm going to insert a bullet shape. So I'm going to go over here to symbol, click on symbol. Now I already have one in here because I've done this before. But I'm going to come down here to more symbols. So if you don't see that, and here in the font you're going to choose symbol. This down arrow here, you can find all sorts of different characters. We're going to do symbol, and we want the character code 183, and we know that because it tells us in the text. Otherwise you just have to search and use the scroller bar here and search until you find the round bullet. And we're going to click insert and then close, and there's our dark bullet there. We want to add a bottom border to our address line, so we're still in our address line here. So up on the Home tab, right over here is our border button. We're going to click on that little arrow, and even though there's a bottom border here, we're wanting to make some changes to it. So we're going to come to Borders and Shading. We want the second one down with these little dots, and we want to make it green, accent 1. And we want it to be 1.5 point. And over here in our little diagram preview, we can see that it's putting it around the entire paragraph. We only want it on the bottom. So we're just going to click to turn those off. Now it's on the bottom, applying just to the paragraph. We're going to say OK. So now we have this nice little dotted line. On page 2 now, that's all we're going to do to that letter. We're going to scroll down to page 2. And we've got this Make a Gift, Change a Life, and we really like the way this is formatted. And we want to apply that same formatting to the Northern Oregon University Foundation. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the text that we like the way it looks, come up here and click on our Format Painter, and what it's going to do is it's going to take that format and it's going to apply it to wherever we click next. So you can see my cursor, I have the paintbrush on it. So now I'm going to go Northern Oregon University Foundation. Just those words. Whoops, went too far. So I'm going to come up here and do my undo button. Come back to the Make a Gift, Change a Life, Format Painter, and try to just get the one I want. There we go. Takes a little bit to get that done. And if you're using a laptop computer with the finger pad, you really might consider investing in a small handheld mouse. It makes it a little bit easier for you. On the picture down here, we want to change the format. Done that. We want to apply the brightness. Sorry. So we're going to select the picture, and when it's selected, you see you have picture tools up here. We're going to go to the format, and over here under corrections, you can see our brightness and contrast. And if you move your mouse over it, you can see it lets you know what the brightness percentage and the contrast percentage is going to be. We want plus 20 contrast and plus 20 brightness. So it's the fourth one down here. So I'm going to select that. It's just going to change the coloring of the picture a little bit. We want to resize the picture to width of 5. So here we've got our height and we've got our width. We want to change this to 5 inches. And then we need to add some alt text to this picture. Alt text is to be used if somebody's using a screen reader. They have some type of a visual impairment. They can't see what the picture looks like. So we use the alt text, and this is what the reader would say to the person through the computer about what the picture looks like. And in this case, it's a group of 5 students walking on campus. So you just want to be as brief as you can, but still telling the reader what is in the picture. So we have that entered in there, and we can then close this box. And then we want to clear the formatting from thank you for considering a gift. See, they've got a lot of stuff that's bolded in here, and we don't want any of that formatting on it. So we're going to highlight that paragraph. On the Home tab, we've got this clear all formatting. It's just an A with a little eraser next to it. Click that. Why isn't it doing it? There we go. Clearing all the formatting. Now we're ready to go to number 7. Linear Venn SmartArt. So we want to add some SmartArt. So we're going to go to this blank paragraph underneath in the previous fiscal year paragraph, and we're going to come up here to insert SmartArt, and we're going to come down here and find the linear Venn process. And SmartArt, they're not in any particular order. Just kind of sometimes have to search for it. So here's our linear Venn, and it is actually in the relationship section. So we're going to select that, and we're going to say OK. And so now here in our SmartArt, we're going to add some text. So I'm going to click here where it says text, and you might have had a little box popped up over here to the side to add text in there as well. You can do that, or you can close it and just type right in the SmartArt area. We want businesses in the first one, and in the next one we want alumni. And you'll notice as you're typing the text in, the next one's friends, it makes sure that all of the text in each of the circles is formatted the same. So if it gets smaller, the text gets smaller in a circle, they're all going to get smaller. We're going to resize our SmartArt. Now, right now, we just have, excuse me, one of the circles highlighted. We want to select the entire SmartArt, so we need to click outside of that circle, so we just have our sizing markers around the entire thing. Now we can come up here to SmartArt Tools and do the format, and we can change the size. And in this case, we want the size, we want the height 2.3. So click on height and then type in 2.3 and enter. Now you can see it's gone back to the second page at the bottom. We want to change some colors, so we're going to go back to the design, and right here is change colors. And we want to change the colors to transparent gradient range accent 1. And then we want to change the style to intense effect. So now on page 3, we are going to set a right aligned tab stop. We want this 2020 to be over someplace different. So first of all, we're going to do is we're just going to put our mouse in here by the GIF designation. And up here in paragraph, down here at the bottom, we have tabs. So we can tell exactly where we want the tab to go. We want a tab stop at 5.25. And we want it to be right aligned. So under alignment, we want to make sure it's right. And we want it to be dotted leader. So here's leaders. We want it to be dotted. So number 2 is the dotted. And then we're going to say set, and then OK. And you can see it moved this down. So now it's all lined up, and we have our dots. Don't be tempted just to hit the period sign and go all the way over. We know you've put a tab in because you've got that little arrow right there, and that lets your instructor know when they're grading that that is a tab stop. We want to add, now for number 10, in our GIF designation table, right here, we want to insert a row at the end. So we're just going to come down here, and we can, up here on our table tools, on layout, insert below. So we've got a new line there. We want to apply the list table 3 style. So under design, we've got our table styles here. And we just want to find the list table 3 accent 5. That's grid. We want list. So down here, list table 3 accent 5. And then in this bottom row, now we are going to add some text. We want to say facilities. And I'm going to hit tab to move it over to the next section here in my table. And I'm going to type in 15%. So now we're ready to go down and flip this picture, donate, so that we can read it. You can see it's backwards. So we're going to select the picture, come up here to the format tool area, and over here where we had the rotate box, if we click on that, you can see one of the things we can do is we can flip vertical. And so now we can see donate. And then we want to change our text wrapping. So we're going to go wrap text and change it to square. So now we can read it, and it's also not over any of our text. We're going to change, we also want to recolor the picture to green. So I'm going to go to Format. Here's our color, and we want to recolor green accent 1 color light. Green accent 1 color light. Make it green. So now we're ready for number 12. We want to come down here and work with our text boxes we have down here. So I'm going to click in President's Club because we want to change the shape style to Moderate Effect Gold Accent 6. That's the first thing. So since we have it selected, we now have drawing tools in our format. I'm going to click on over here under the shape styles, and we want the Moderate Effect Gold Accent 6. We want to apply the Shadow Offset Center Shape Effect from the Shadow Gallery. So here we have our shape effects. So I'm going to click on this arrow. I'm going to go to Shadow, and we want the Shadow Offset Center Shape Effect. So here's Offset Bottom, here's Offset Center Effect. Now we want the fellowships to look just like scholarships. So if we come over here to scholarships, if we click on the edge to make the line all around scholarships to be a solid line, so you're going to click on the edge of it. On the Home tab, click Format Painter, and then come over here and click it on the Fellowships tab. And you're going to, now they look exactly alike. So now we have everything done to our document. Go ahead and save it and then submit it in Blackboard for grading.